just stop past to encourage you and just drop a word of support to those of you who are suffering with depression and anxiety and have suicide thoughts. According to a report released by the CDC in 2019, suicide is the 10th largest cause of death in the United States. It's actually the 4th leading cause of death between persons ranging age 10 to 34, and it is the leading cause of death for persons 34 to 44. So it is a huge problem in epidemic proportions that really we need to wrap our arms around it so that we can begin being support and having solutions to address this. Today I'm here because I have a guest with me, Mike, and we were talking about suicide, and I asked a question and he responded in a way that I thought that it'd be helpful to address, and that is the myth of suicide. So if I had to tag this, it's the myth of suicide. And the question that I asked Mike was, had he ever thought about suicide? So good afternoon, and thank you so much, Mike, for being here with me.
Thanks for having me.
So we're going to just start this conversation. So have you ever, the question that I asked you earlier is, have you ever thought about suicide?
And so I've never thought about killing myself. My only thoughts of that would be what would make somebody get to the point that they would want to end their life.
And when I initially asked you the question, his answer was very
Visceral.
he had a visceral response, and that's what provoked me to offer this little support. And the answer to the question I asked you, had you ever thought about suicide? And you said what?
I love me too much to end my own life.
Right. And so thank you for your transparency and your honesty. And so to that, I offer you this, that oftentimes the research suggests that suicide is not about self-love. And the reason why this is important, and it's an important distinction, it's not about self-love, it's about pain. And the reason that's important is because when persons are suffering from suicide, the ideation, so let me give you some working definitions really quick. Suicide is the successful completion of an act designed to end your own life. It's a self-imposed act or behavior designed to end your own life. Suicide ideation is the thought of wanting to end your own life by your own hands. And suicide attempt is engaging in that act or behavior designed to end your own life, but it did not succeed. Okay? So when a person has suicide ideations and or they have a successful attempt, like that even makes sense, those two words, successful attempt, when they commit suicide, it's not out of an act of not having self-love. Their mindset isn't, I hate myself, right? But suicide is about pain, not being able to resolve the pain, ease the pain, and or tolerate the pain, physical, emotional, psychological, otherwise. And pain comes to people in various forms, right? Something could have been said, something could have been done. There could be a perceived loss and or a realistic loss. So it's not about self-love. So the reason why, and thank you for that, or not having high self-esteem, because people can be accomplished. So there are a myriad of people who are accomplished, educated, beautiful according to the world standard and or their own, and still commit suicide. And I'll date myself when I talk about Phyllis Hyman committed suicide. You know, some of the celebrities or persons in your own family, like I literally had to talk to someone whose in-law committed suicide. And so I want us to make sure that when we are offering support and reaching out to other people who may be experiencing these thoughts, there's certain questions that you can pose, and you want to get an understanding of what is their pain, their emotional pain, right? Not because people can go to the spa and look like they're doing self-care and self-love, or be in emotional pain. So suicide isn't about self-esteem or self-love. It is about unresolved pain, unmanaged pain. So we can start asking, what are your thoughts? And even asking the question, have you ever thought about killing yourself? Right? And talking to people about, their worst case scenarios and getting an idea of how they may manage that, process that, or what they might do about it. And if that's outside of your purview and you really don't have the emotional wherewithal or bandwidth to handle the answers, don't worry. You can actually reach out to us at Choices International, 240-389-4685. We have trained, licensed, certified professionals who study this. We have the bandwidth, the empathy, and the compassion to support you through your pain. The goal of resolving suicide is to help persons who are suffering to find their place of peace and their place of healing. And so until next time, I just wanted to drop this line, just a word of encouragement that we are here, help is here. You're not crazy for hurting. We're here to support you in your season of pain. Suicide is about pain, not about self-love. I'm Laconia. Until next time, bye-bye.